If I could just now turn to Mr. Venkatram of Deloitte. Sir, what is it that you are seeing now where you are, jobs is one big issue that the economy is facing, and I will ask the other panelists also about jobs in a little while. Do you think that we are, as an economy, given that we are growing at 8.2%, probably will grow at close to 8% maybe this year, are you confident that we are creating jobs sufficiently to meet the demand, meet the young workforce? What is your sense?
I think the answer, my sense is yes, we are, but I will not hazard a guess in terms of giving you numbers because I don't believe that as a nation we are geared up towards accurately, monitoring the job situation as such. Because as he pointed out earlier, Uday was talking about the microeconomy, for example. There are a lot of jobs created there, for example, in telecom and logistics, etc.,
right,
which I don't even think get captured correctly. I also believe that, we shouldn't just rely on the larger industries to give us the jobs.
Mm-hmm.
I think a majority of the jobs that will really come from the middle sector and the small sector as well. And that's something that we need to concentrate on. The third thing I would like to point out is the technology use which we talk about. And I think there's a lot more. I think we are still at a nascent sense in terms of where we can move on technology.
Mm-hmm.
And when I look at technology, I actually look at the benefits, but also worry about this mass consumption part of the economy we have, which is the middle class.
Right.
We have a burgeoning middle class, a lot of people coming in there, probably 600 million plus. Yeah. We also look at the middle and the upper middle, it's almost, our guess would be 150 to 200 million.
Right.
The question is, some of those jobs will be lost.
Right.
The second piece of it, which we are tracking, because as large companies, we all do it, is in employment of women. We all look in terms of 50% women in the workforce.
Right.
The overall statistic for India is not good. I mean, whichever way you look at it, the World Bank report or what the Economist recently wrote, the fact is it's slipped to about 26%.
Right.
And I think that's not acceptable for a country like India. And in fact, I think there was another report out there which said that actually if you employ more women, it'll foster growth. So I would really say that what we are really tracking is how to get more women.
How we get more. That's an interesting point, and actually it's quite important because given the composition of women in the workforce and the fact that a lot of women are now entering the workforce, I mean, what do you think needs to be done to actually hold them there and not allow them to drop out?
Well, a lot needs to be done. I mean, from a regulatory perspective, you do know that we had this whole issue of maternity benefits to women, and I think a newspaper carried a large article in terms of how people won't employ women because you've got to give them maternity benefits. I mean, I find that pretty ridiculous because it's not that every woman who's employed is on maternity leave. Yeah. It's just a small section of them. But I think the larger issue is really self-employment. And that gets back to financing. How do you finance women in business? How do you do the microfinancing that is required to get them to be gainfully employed? It's not so much, as I said, about the India that we see every day, which is the large corporate India. I think a lot of our growth is really going to come from an India that many of us don't see on a day-to-day basis.